Welcome to the Leadership Purpose with Robin podcast. I'm your host, Robin L. Owens, PhD, and this is where we dive in each week to give advice, tools, and tips for high-achieving women leaders, and we talk about leadership purpose and its importance for you. I am a college professor, and when I am not doing that, I am speaking, writing, coaching, mentoring, and teaching high-achieving women leaders how to find, and not only find, but how to stay in alignment with their leadership purpose so they can make a meaningful difference right there in their career, leadership, or business. Okay, let's dive in. Hi, everyone. I am Robin L. Owens, and I am here with the fabulous Jay Scherr. Now, let me tell you a little bit about Jay. Jay is the owner of Jay Scott Consulting Services. He's a business growth coach and the host of the podcast, Business Minds Coffee Chat. Jay is a driven, service-oriented professional with years of business management and sales experience and leadership experience. He's energetic, he's collaborative, and a strategic thinker with a strong business acumen and a passion for personal development. Jay offers a wide range of business consulting services. So whether you're an entrepreneur or a small to mid-sized business, Jay and his company can help you improve your performance. And he does it all with a sincere, genuine concern for people. Welcome, Jay Scherr.
Thank you so much, Robin. I appreciate it. And I'm grateful for you having me on your show today. Thank you.
I'm so glad you're here. So let's just jump right in. Tell us a little bit more about you and what you do.
Sure. So just to bolt on a bit to what you said at the intro. So yes, I do coach entrepreneurs and small to mid-sized business owners who are ready for more. They want to elevate their game. They want to see predictable and sustainable results. They're ready to experience progress, business growth, and personal success. And my system contains a framework and the tools and the fuel to help them create success and a thriving business.
Yes, I love that. Not just tools, but fuel. Tools and fuel. I love that.
Yes.
Yes. And the system that you created yourself will do this.
Yes. And that was based on 30 plus years of experience in the corporate world, where I worked with a number of different companies. And, I was always just intrigued ever since I was a child, actually, but always intrigued with why some companies were succeeding, right, when other companies were failing. So really trying to find if there were some common threads that would tell a story, or at least start to identify patterns of where that success occurred, and most importantly, why, right? What were the actions that were taken? What was the mindset? What were the specific frameworks in those companies that were successful? And so over those 30 plus years, those patterns started to show themselves. So ultimately, I got to a point where I left corporate America, decided to start my own business, and took that framework and that formula that started to play out and apply that in my business today with the clients that I work with.
What an awesome kind of curating of all your experience and knowledge and expertise to put that in a system and then offer it to others. That's amazing, Jay. I'm glad to hear that you're doing that.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. Not only has it been fun, but it's been a great experience to actually do it on my own versus within the four walls of a large company.
Yes. I can only imagine. So tell us what you enjoy most out of all the great things that you're doing in your work. What do you enjoy most?
So it boils down to building relationships and helping a client get what they want from their business. So if I had to really boil it down into two key areas, that's what it would be about. So the relationship side of it, it's an amazing experience. As you serve the community, as you start to work with more clients and you realize that those relationships are what drives you, right? It's what creates additional opportunities. And I would share with you that when I was in my corporate role, although I was involved in networking and certainly had relationships with the clients that I worked with, it was really within a very niche area. So when I left the corporate world, started my own business, although I had contacts, I didn't have a tremendous amount of relationships built outside of the relationships I had on the corporate side. So that became incredibly important to me and was very involved and am still involved in a number of business networking groups and Rotary and on the board of a couple different organizations, but all from the perspective of serving, building rapport, and adding value. So the relationship side has been amazing. And just being able to help clients become the best that they can be. So taking their existing business and helping them put that framework in place that can take them from where they are today to where they want to be, and being able to show them how to get there, the steps to take, the right tools to put into place. And it's an incredible, incredible feeling.
Yeah, your passion shines through as you talk about the work. Your passion is clear that you are very passionate about connecting with others and also helping them move from where they are to where they want to be. And my work is primarily with high achieving women, some in leadership roles in various capacities and others, but I give the broad category of high achieving women. And not only high achieving women, but primarily that's the people who I teach and work with. So now tell us, from your years of experience and expertise and wisdom, what's some helpful hint or tip you would give to a high achieving woman who is listening and watching us right now?
Well, sure. Well, thank you for the question. It's a good one. You know, there's a couple different points I'd like to address, if that's okay with you.
Perfect.
Okay. So the first one is around leadership. And, you know, based on my experience, leadership or being a leader is not necessarily tied to a title. So, you know, what is leadership? I think that's one of the first things that, you know, that we should define and that we should define for ourselves. And leadership to me is around being able to influence others, being able to empower and develop others toward the achievement of a specific goal. So, you know, leaders come in all different shapes and forms. Leadership happens obviously in our home life and business, right? So how we show up, it's incredibly important in realizing that it is about other people. Yeah. It's about how we serve others, how we help pull the greatness out of others and help set others up for success. So that's how I view leadership. And I will share with you that, I mean, I have certainly learned over the years more and more about the importance of leadership. And, you know, as I look at leadership today and I look at how I showed up many years ago in different leadership roles, you know, thank goodness I've evolved. You know, thank goodness that I've been on a path of growing, and the desire to learn more, the desire to become better and hone my own skills. And I would encourage your community to do exactly the same thing, that no matter where you are today, realize that there is always opportunity to learn more. There's opportunities to build your skill sets and to become a better leader, and ask for feedback. So for those that you are leading, whether it's at home or in business, ask for feedback. How am I doing? How am I showing up? How can I serve better? And take that feedback and then use it as a means to define the areas that you can improve upon. So that's really the first thing, is what is a leader. The second thing that I would share would be around clarity. So in the work that I do, working with clients, clarity is such an important aspect of building a sustainable business. So clarity around purpose, clarity around vision, clarity around core values. Those are central areas that we need to be crystal clear on. So also identifying your goals and then break those goals down into the smallest actionable items that you can take every day and that you can measure against to ensure that you're actually moving in the right direction. So clarity would be the second piece that I would focus on. And then also understand that each of us, you, Robin, your community, everyone is unique and you bring your own greatness to the world. So compare yourself only to who you were yesterday and who you aspire to become. I had a conversation recently with a social psychologist, and we were talking about the impact of social media on the world today. And this was all relating to business in general, but it applies across the board. And there's obviously a lot of benefit to social media, especially for business people. But on the flip side of that coin, it's very easy to fall into a trap where we're comparing ourselves to others that we see because we have access, right? We are almost like voyeurs. We have access to someone else's life 24 hours a day. And it's ever so important to pull that lens back and detach ourselves from the comparison of who I am versus someone else. So if we can focus our time and attention on who I was yesterday and who I want to be, right? The person I want to become, that would be a better comparison as far as I'm concerned. Now, I certainly look at how others are showing up to the world, and I use that for inspiration, but not for comparison purposes. Does that make sense?
It makes a lot of sense. And I'm sure it rings true for many of us who are listening or watching this right now. And all your tips actually are very valuable. This idea of understanding what leadership means for you as the individual, understanding your own idea of what that is, right? So that was important. The idea of goal setting and having clarity, and then not being distracted by comparison. All those are fabulous tips. So thank you, Jay, for that. As you know, my work has to do with leadership purpose. Part of it has to do with leadership purpose, and that's primarily what I start with in my teaching. And so when I say that term, leadership purpose, what comes to your mind?
The first thing that comes to my mind when I think about it is leadership purpose is what we are driven to achieve and deliver. And that obviously can be different from individual to individual. But that's the first thing that comes to mind when I think of that term.
Okay.
It's your why behind how you show up. It's what gets you excited, or what gets you so excited that, every day you can't wait to get out of bed, right? And you can't wait to show up, and you can't wait to have that next conversation with someone that you are working with, or maybe a teammate. That to me is leadership purpose.
Yes. And of course, all this is resonating with me because that's how I feel. I wake up in the morning and I'm excited about the day-to-day activities because they're all related.
Yes.
All right. So do you think leadership purpose is important?
Yeah. Again, a great question and a resounding yes. And the why behind that is when you have identified and you have figured out for yourself what your leadership purpose is, it brings incredible meaning and joy and fulfillment to your business and your life in general. So I go back to where I am today versus where I was many years ago. And although I was doing work that was fulfilling in certain aspects of my life, there were definitely gaps. And today I have figured out, I know what my sweet spot is. I know how I can best serve, and I'm there now. And talk about what that feeling is when you have figured out what your leadership purpose is, you'll know it. Now, you may have to try different things. You may have to spend time working with, like Robin, working with you as an example, to better identify and figure out what my leadership purpose is. But once you're there, you know it.
Yeah, and there's no stopping you. Thank you, Jay. You're always so generous with sharing your experience and your expertise, and I so appreciate you. And those who are listening, they might want to hear more about you or get in contact with you. How can they do that?
Well, thank you for that. The best place to go is to my website, which is the initial J, Scott, SCOTT, consultingservices.com. And from there, you'll have access to all of my social platforms. You'll also have access to the Business Minds Coffee Chat show. And if you want to get in touch with me, you can do that from there too. And I would love to serve your community any way that I can.
That's wonderful, Jay. Thank you. I really, again, I have to say how much I appreciate you being generous with your time and your experience and expertise. And I so enjoy working with you. So I'm sure people who are listening to you can get that feeling that this is someone who might be helpful for me to get in touch with. So thank you. And it's been an honor to spend our time together today.
Robin, thank you very much. I appreciate it. I'm grateful for you. And I just can't wait to continue to grow on this path with you and keep doing what you're doing. It's a wonderful thing.
Thank you. Thank you, Jay. And for anybody who wants to get in touch with me, you can contact me at robinlowens.com. And I will have lots of information on leadership purpose and other issues to help high achieving women in leadership in the various leadership roles. All right. Goodbye, everybody. Until next time. Thank you for tuning into this episode of the Leadership Purpose with Robin podcast. If you enjoyed it, head on over and rate and subscribe so you never miss an episode. New episodes drop every week, and I can't wait to hang out with you again soon. Meanwhile, this is Robin signing off. See you next time.